afternoon and welcome to today's edition of The Buzz. It's Easter Monday, and on that note, we wish all our viewers a happy Easter celebration. My name is Patience and I welcome you today, Monday, the 2nd of April 2018. I'm here with Alero. Good afternoon, Alero.
Hi, Patience.
Happy Easter to you.
Wish you the same. I wish Lagos roads can be
like this
free.
every day. Wishful thinking. Okay, all right. Today we'll be looking at the President Buhari's visit to Lagos last week. We'll also be looking at the controversial Martin Luther King's Award and also the recent names that the federal government released as alleged looters of our treasury. That's what we'll be discussing on The Buzz this afternoon. Let's quickly introduce our guests on the program today before we go into our discussion. We have making a return on the show, Mr. Femi Duro-Jaye. He is a renowned actor, scriptwriter, screenwriter, a producer, director, and is also a social analyst. Good afternoon, Mr. Femi.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Also, we have one of our regulars. She's very vocal on social media. She's a social critic and she's a marketing and communications expert, Esosa Osagede. Good afternoon, Esosa. Happy Easter to you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
good
coming.
afternoon.
Also, we have another regular of the show, always present on Mondays, where wherever part of Nigeria he is, he makes sure on Mondays he's in Lagos. He is a public relations expert and a social commentator, Mr. Ikem Okuhu. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, happy Easter to everybody. And thank God, exercise now the social critic.
We shifted that title to Esosa. All right, let's go straight into our program for this afternoon. Our first topic is President Buhari's visit to Lagos. It's no longer news that amiable President Muhammadu Buhari was in Lagos for a 2-day visit to the country's economic capital. The visit was to felicitate with former Governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also to commission a bus terminal in Ikeja, as well as to launch the construction of a $1.5 billion deep port project at the Lekki area of Lagos. Let's take this footage. It comprises of short videos and pictorials of actually what the 2-day visit to Lagos was like. We'll take that and then we'll be back quickly. was footage on the president's visit to Lagos. Now, during this visit, the president shut down major streets within the country's economic capital. The blockage of the roads led to virtual chaos, with many people walking long distances to get to their destinations, while many air passengers could not get to the airport to catch early morning flight. Consequently, the social media was flooded with complaints of suffering by the residents of the state as a result of all of this. And of course, these complaints forced the Nigerian police to reverse the order on closure of roads later in the day, thus raising the question of on whose order was the initial closure of road made and who ordered the reversal. All right, panel. We were all in Lagos, I assume, last week, Thursday and Friday, and we all witnessed, what went down during the president's visit to Lagos. Let's start from Mr. Ikem. How did you receive all of this, from the order to block the road to the visit itself and every other thing that ensued?
Okay, all right, sorry to cut you short, Patience. And let's also have it in mind that the same day, NBA actually wanted to stage a protest on that Thursday.
But they had to cancel that, yeah.
Well, whatever happened, Easter started very early for me.
Okay.
That day, because I was out on Wednesday there were a few deliveries I needed to do for our customers, and I was on the road between Isolo, where I live, to Kenya GRA, and not Okpebi, what's this road? Kudirat Abiola, that's the former, the old name has stuck. Oregun Road. I did over 4 hours. To get back to GRA, where I had another meeting that afternoon, I was 1 hour late. And I finished, I couldn't get to the office again, I just went home straight. And when I was already aware of the shutdown. So on Thursday, I said, I'm not going to go to the office. I sat at home, struggled with my children and my laptop, and was able to do everything, but I couldn't step out. Because if I am going to go out on that day, for instance, and I'm targeting to earn, let's say, 2,000 naira, and between leaving my house, getting to the office, I had already burnt 2,000 naira on gas. I've accumulated stress of 20,000 naira, and I won't even get to the office on time to be able to do that. What's the point? It was totally needless, and I keep saying we keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. And I speak, when certain things remind you of hypocrisy, I'm sorry to use this word, it becomes very annoying, because we are conscious that less than 3-4 years ago, a Patience Jonathan, who was the first lady, was in Lagos. And the airspace was shut down, the roads were shut down. I remember that there was talk on Kiswe Road Ikoyi for almost a whole day. And these same people who are shutting down Lagos raised hell. They were quite vocal the poor woman at that time, said a lot of things about how she's making Lagosians suffer. I remember that sometime 2014 or 2015, her husband, President Jonathan, was in this Lagos for one project, either the Nigerian Centenary Project or something.
It was actually passing through Lagos.
Okay.
To Ogun State.
And this city was shut down. And our dear former publicity secretary of the APC, who is now the Minister of Information, wrote a certain letter to the then governor, Fashola, asking that where Jonathan did a stopover and he did something in Koyo or so, why didn't this president use a chopper or a helicopter to make sure that Lagosians didn't suffer untold hardship in traffic?
And here we are, the whole thing.
2 years or less later, you made an announcement that you're going to shut down a city as bustling as Lagos, it's not like my village where I could just reach out to the farm like this and I pick a tuber of yam or something and I eat. If you don't step away from your house that any day in Lagos, hunger will catch you either on that day or the next day.
And the funny thing that it wasn't just any other day, it was Thursday. Knowing that the next day is a holiday, meaning that businesses need to dot the I's and cross their T's on that day. I left my house from the island at 6 a.m. to get to GRA Ikeja because I needed to beat the Mobolaji Bank Anthony closure. You said something, Patience. You said after a while, something came out and they opened the road. So it just shows you how hypocritical we are as a people. Who gave that order to shut the roads in the first place?
The road was shut,
who gave that
on the
order?
order of the Lagos State government.
So
Lagos. And when the backlash started,
we are not
hypocritical. We are hypocritical.
We are not hypocritical as a people.
We are.
Some people took that decision.
No.
The people
We
of
are
Lagos.
hypocritical as a people because even the way I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, Mr. Ikem has raised a number of points. The same people that were against the things that PDP did barely 3 years ago are doing even worse. I don't want to start to name names, but I know we'll get to the Naomi Campbell and all the other issues. Somebody I know who was so vocal on Twitter comes out and calls us Nigerians raving mad because we asked questions that what was she doing there? What was she doing? You know, I mean, on this whole thing. Sorry, I just want to quickly throw this because I saw this on social media yesterday, and I thought it was a very apt post. And the person said, in this day and age, while the president of South Africa is flying economy class to save costs, the president of Nigeria shuts down Lagos, the economic capital of Nigeria, and Africa's 5th biggest economy by GDP, for a day, just to commission a downfall and moldware pack.
They said it's not an ordinary. You know, you were saying
a downfall and moldware pack.
A bus stop is a bus stop.
How many of
Whether
us
you
have
decorate it
entered?
with roses or not.
My God!
You raised that issue now. Let me tell you, you know, in the world of diplomacy, everything is a weapon. Ramaphosa is one of the richest blacks in South Africa. Ramaphosa can afford to fly anything he wants.
His own jets,
But
if he wants.
while we were at this issue, discussing our president and shutting down a city, this man is already aiming towards leadership on the continent. He did that thing not because he's a regular in economy. He did that thing as a message to us. It was like a very subtle attack on our PR value and reputation on the continent.
Exactly.
The president of Africa, South Africa, flying economy. It was
in this day and age where
it was
prime
very
ministers are
sublime
going on the
message.
subway.
Yes.
You see prime ministers going on.
But
television.
sorry, can I mention, because somebody did mention this on Twitter as well and was saying all the fanfare that surrounded the president's visit was worth it because after all, this was his first visit to Lagos since 2015. Was it worth it?
What is the value? What is the added value?
Exactly.
He shut down the commercial capital of Nigeria to achieve what? To commission a bus.
A downfall and moldware pack.
What is the added value? Let us not forget that barely 30-something years ago, the former governor of Lagos, Alhaji Lateef Jakonde, started the Metro Line project. This same man that came to commission a bus stop, Muhammadu Buhari, cancelled that project when he became head of state 30 years ago. No reason was given. Just that they do not feel that maybe Lagos deserve that kind of major transformation in our public transport system. Today, I mean, it was last week, he came to commission a bus stop. Nemesis is a very terrible thing.
But then can we look at the discomfort, you know, and the inconvenience a bit more
a lot of people went through.
on the Lagos populace? You know, a lot of people had it was almost impossible, you know, to
and
get to your destination.
We can't continue this way. Whether PDP comes to power at the center or any other political party comes to the power at the center, we cannot afford Lagos to be shut down continuously. It makes no sense.
We can't
What is the
afford
point?
to shut down any city. People are in their productive enterprises. we are very poor with our statistics here, but I remember in this course of the conversation, somebody raised a vital thing that Lagos State, as a government, for that day, lost revenue of about, initially, is it 800 and something million? Because he used the annual revenue. Yes. That Lagos and just
divided almost a trillion.
I work in private. Yes. I work in private, and I know how many meetings we had to cancel that day. You know how much money was lost just that day because one person came to commission a dam for Amulwe Park. I mean, and and I would keep saying we are hypocrite because I don't understand how people get into certain roles and your head just becomes something else. You just change and it's like you no longer have brains in your head. Why would you shut down a whole state?
It's a norm. With due respect to civil
that's why
servants.
I keep saying we are hypocrite because I think it boils down to each and every one of us. I think it's a values. We need a values reorientation in this country. You don't have to. You get to power and you don't have to become an untouchable. I mean, what's the purpose of all this shutting down? Even for you and I, you see, common big man who is an MD of a company, you see the convoy, you see how they are driving us off the road, you see how they make us look like we are lepers because you have a bit of money and you need to go past a certain route. So it's not just from government, and I want us to look at this deeper than that. It trickles down to each and every one of us. One person gets money or attains a small position, and you think that you become a demigod.
We must. Those
are very bad examples.
But there's something we must say. All over the world, it is the same thing.
It is not.
Public office holders.
It's not this bad.
Who needs to get, just like the police, for example. The police will use the siren, they will take one way, they will do whatever it is that is possible to ensure the protection of the people. You don't question that. Public officials, for example, the deputy governor or the governor of a state, he has to go in a convoy. He needs protection for the simple reason that if you gun down the governor of Lagos State, what does it tell you? Nobody is safe in Lagos. Investors are not coming to Lagos. You understand? So these people need the kind of protection that the law gives them, right? Okay. But you see, it is only the governor that a siren, blasts the siren. The deputy governor does not. So a private citizen that has money will not. The most he can do is get a police officer to be in his vehicle, but they don't drive people off the road. I don't think they do.
But Mr. Fen, do you actually fly on
which Lagos do you fly, sir? Because I don't know. I don't know the Lagos you pass through.
One house.
Yes.
For me to go to work, for me to go back home, I use the airport road. The road rage on that route on a daily basis, people, ordinary Pakistanis and Indians who are doing small businesses have a pilot, one vehicle with sirens, and they run everybody on the road.
That is illegal.
Okay.
That's illegal.
All right.
Okay, now, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the miscommunication, because with aftermath of the president's visits to Lagos, we've actually seen series of tweets that has to do with miscommunication, even from the president and even the governor of Lagos State also regarding the commission. That because pictures from the past president actually surfaced when he said he didn't actually come to commission that particular project. Then the Naomi Campbell's
we're talking about the Eco-Atlantic.
Yes, the Eco-Atlantic. Then the Naomi Campbell's tweet also raised a lot of issues. Like she tweeted something that she was invited, and later on, I guess she deleted that first tweet.
Yes.
First of all, how appearing in the picture. Okay, before we come into the Naomi Campbell angle to the story, we have a video of people actually trekking, on the roads on that day. Let's quickly take that one. Let's take that video quickly, then we'll come back and talk about the other issues.
Look at tear small puff.
Welcome back. All right, we're still looking at the socio-economic impact of the president's visit to Lagos. Remember, the program is quite interactive. The number to send an SMS to is 0708740758 is right there on the screen, and you can also use our other social media portals.
Yes, using the hashtag The Boards on Facebook, www.facebook.com/GalaxyTV, and on Twitter at official Galaxy TV, knowing that you could get to watch previous editions of the program via our YouTube channel, which is Galaxy TV Nigeria.
That's right.
I was asking a question about Naomi Campbell's tweets. And you know, like you said something that Nigerians are very, very fast. She tweeted something and someone had actually saved it before she deleted it. So now let's talk about it.
Naomi said she was invited. And I can't remember his name now, comes on Twitter and says, oh, she wasn't invited. She was passing through or something, and she heard that the president was there, and she quickly branched. Or something really ludicrous, something very unnecessary. Naomi Campbell is, I mean, she doesn't. She might be black, but she doesn't think like we think. She wouldn't just trot into a place if she wasn't uninvited, especially with the president being there.
With all the high-level security.
The only thing I asked,
the questions they are shut out of seeing the president.
The only thing I asked on, I sent on Twitter was, what is she bringing to the table? What is her presence there doing beside adding some aesthetic value to that lineup? I mean, what's she bringing? Is she even an ambassador for any of the Millennium Development Goals?
Let's not forget though.
She came to Nigeria for Arise Africa.
Okay.
She walked the runway yesterday, or was it on Friday? Because I know that. I mean, I watched the videos and I saw her. So she came for something else, and some PR person who thought they could score a cheap shot with the president thought it wise to bring her and add her to the lineup.
Because I was shocked when I saw her in some of the pictures. I'm like, okay, what's the correlation?
This is my take on this matter, right? It might not be a popular one. If you remember our president, was it last year, that said his wife belonged to the kitchen and to the other room, right? The president might be trying to make up for that mistake and show that he respects women, you know. That's why probably they brought Naomi to her, take photograph, and the man posed with our president. Maybe the president is coming up in respecting women.
And
he
was.
I don't know that's about respecting.
That's the only explanation I have for that.
I don't know if it's about respecting women.
One, the Naomi Campbell matter was a PR disaster that never should have happened.
Yes.
Number one, a president visiting a state, unofficial visit, emphasis on official, should ideally have a very strict itinerary. I am commissioning this bus stop, I am commissioning the garage there, I am visiting.
I'm branching Mr. Ikem's house.
I'm chopping pounded yam.
Because the security details for the president walk along the lines of that very clearly defined and communicated itinerary.
Yeah.
And then he arrived somewhere, and somebody who wanted to score some points, names were mentioned, the publisher of This Day was mentioned, the Chaguri brothers were mentioned. As the people behind the smuggling of the model into the president's itinerary.
International model.
Whether international or local, you don't, even if the president wanted to, you don't bully the president. You don't break the itinerary of a president like that, because you are diluting his aura. It's not Buhari. It is the president of Nigeria, that office. You are disrespecting that office by so doing. Number two, Naomi arrives, takes photographs, and gives a very, very wrong communication of her purpose for being there. It has been established, and I believe them, she was not invited. Somebody was approached to do somebody a favor. Please, this woman is here, allow her to take a picture with the president. And you just said yes, without thinking. Naomi is may be a very successful model, but as far as Nigeria is concerned, as far as Africa is concerned, she has not very nice stories around her. If you talk about the Charles Taylor blood diamonds in Liberia, Naomi Campbell's name was mentioned.
In fact, on Twitter, somebody said there are no diamonds in Nigeria.
Talk about our Kola Aluko. Naomi Campbell was on the yacht and was purchased purportedly with our collective commonwealth.
Well.
So, and I think there were issues around adoption of children some time ago.
That's why she went to Ikorodu to do another PR stunts with children in Ikorodu.
All these things, I would have expected the minders of the president to say a very polite no.
See,
to that request.
Who are the minders of the president? I mean, not the people that gave, what's it called, that published a list of dead people as members of boards. Look, this is vintage Buhari presidency. Expect anything can happen. Anything.
And Mr. Ikem, I will disagree with you. I believe Naomi was invited. That girl did not just jump up from her hotel room, call a keke mara and say, take me to Eko Atlantic. President there, I want to take pictures. She was invited. Somebody thought it wise to put her there
for her face to just appear,
but does not have enough history about does not have enough history about Naomi to know that she is a bad person to put in anything that has to do with any country that is trying to be progressive. She's
Nigeria, for instance. Her name is still mentioned in Kola Aluko's case that they have not tied it here, and the president that is investigating this and
here she was smiling with the president.
Kola Aluko is being mentioned in the list of all these monies, and you are putting this person.
It is vintage President Buhari's.
All right. That's how they do their thing. Now let's move on down to the Eco Atlantic project, because the Lagos State government actually tweeted that was true. They tweeted something that the president actually came to commission that particular project. And the presidential aide actually retweeted rather, that it was not the same thing. So we're still talking about miscommunication in this particular visit.
You know, a lot of issues.
Miscommunication.
What did he come for? Because it's like everything he came for. Everything he came for was a lie.
Shortage of vocabulary. For me, that's the way I describe it. Because Jonathan had commission. Let's even understand what commissioning is. Jonathan came here to turn the sod or lay the foundation stone, and we said he has commissioned that place. Is he commissioning for people to use or commissioning for building to start? Because we all know the level of construction work in Eko Atlantic at the moment. Now somebody returns and you take the person on the tour of the place, you put one ribbon along somewhere and you cut it, and you still use the word commissioning in a building that is a work in progress.
Look, this is my take.
So it's a problem of vocabulary.
Look, the Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu legacy, political legacy in Lagos, including Fashola, including my governor Ambode. Eko Atlantic is their project, so to say. What value does it add to the people of Lagos? Look at Lagos, for example. Lagos is mostly water. You invite the president to commission a bus stop, you understand, for road transportation. What we should do is water transportation. That will have direct benefits to the people of Lagos. Atlantic, yes, it will bring revenue and all that. But how does it directly impact the people that
on the lives of the people who live in Lagos? Okay.
And these are the projects they are commissioning and they are making noise about.
Okay, let's look at feedback platforms. People are reacting massively to what we're discussing. Mr. Godi Ofose, who's one of us, but he's not on the show right now, says it was completely unnecessary to close down Lagos for the president's visit. Trump and other world leaders visit important places without any hitches. We should learn from other countries so that we can improve. And he went on to say this government is actually looking for everything to validate its misrule. Naomi Campbell photo op is inconsequential. This one says to me, I see it as a political preparation for second term. Miss Campbell was standing in for the president's wife. As the president was not with his wife.
Show respect to women. Presidency wants to show respect to women now.
All right, this other one says, oh wow, too many messages and calls coming in at the same time. The whole thing is jamming. The visit to Lagos, okay, if you use strong words in your text, I won't be able to read. Ugo Okoye from Agege says, I know how much we lost the day the president visited Lagos because we could not trade at Computer Village just because he came to commission a terminal, which ordinarily a local government chairman could commission. It's so sad. We can't just allow them to be fooling us at all time. Thank you, Ugo, for sending that in. Okay, too many.
Now, do you know
many.
Computer Village? Do you know a day
how much it generates
without business? There are more than 100,000 people doing business in that place every day. I'm not talking about those who own shops. All those boys you see on the streets, they make 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira selling stuff as little as memory sticks. And you shut down such a business.
We can't continue this way. Lagos is too important. It's the commercial capital of this country. And then everybody wants to
value the orientation in this country.
Shut the road down, to achieve
what? On a day here, the day we discuss security, I think I remember I said something about the way we police. Our security is too physical, lacking in intelligence. You can protect the president without having 1,000 policemen on the road. You can protect the president without shutting down the citizens.
Jump into something Mr. Femi said.
But we use security.
Physical
security is force.
You said something about the president going with sirens, but if you were going somewhere, but if you were the president, you were going somewhere, would you announce, or should you rather announce your presence, announce that you are going? That is the only way I believe that somebody who has ulterior motives to gun you down will be able to track you. That's where intelligence comes. Because if you surround yourself with intelligent people and the right type of intelligence, I don't think you need all that noise. Your location should all be that. Yes, you should be discreet.
All right. We need to move on to our second topic. Our time is going. Meanwhile, this one says the president and APC members should tell Nigerians how much was paid to Naomi Campbell for her brief appearance there. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, which is on the controversial Martin Luther King's Award. Nigerians took to social media to give their opinion about the award that the president supposedly received well, last week. Anyway, we all recall that some members of the African American civil rights leaders had on Tuesday last week given an award to President Buhari in Abuja. This was followed by a purported speech from the family urging Nigerians to re-elect Buhari. The children of Martin Luther King and the King Center have, however, denied issuing the award to Buhari. The opposition party, PDP, of course, took hold of the opportunity to scoff at the award, and they described it as a national disgrace and embarrassment. Responding, the presidency has said the award given to President Muhammadu Buhari by the family of the late American human rights activist is a commemorative plaque. Abike Dabiri Erewa, who is Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, said the award was not given on behalf of the King Center. Rather, the award was given to the President by Naomi Barbara King, a matriarch of the King family, in a personal capacity, in recognition of his fight against corruption. Now, this is a topic that played itself out on social media last week as well. This issue of the award and the non-award and all the confusion.
I said something earlier. It is the aura, it is the way the presidency operates. From one scandal to the other, the president does not know that he signed that board members that are dead, they gave them board membership. He does not know that this one has happened. They do not know this. It's the presidency of Muhammadu Buhari. That's how they operate. And that's how they will operate till the end of their term. It's not going to change.
As a woman.
No, but you know what? When this picture actually surfaced online, everyone accepted it. Everyone embraced the whole thing before the truth actually came out. So it was something like a good publicity,
a good story turned bad.
From the whole thing.
Look, the point is that you can't be doing this continuously. You are embarrassing this country on a consistent basis.
Your pain, Mr.
See,
Femi.
as a woman, as a woman, I just want to jump in on this because yesterday I listened to Honorable Abike Dabiri speak and I was extremely disappointed. This is a woman that I mean, growing up, I followed her on NTA. You know, I looked at when, you know, CNN came on board and we were introduced to Christian Amanpour. I kind of measured her with Christian because Abike, back in those days when Abike was, my mom even said this thing, Abike would not rest. She was talking about that she girl that, you know, that is still missing. Abike was the only investigative journalist we had who would dig to the ground until she gets answers. You would block her, you would try to stop her, you would try to silence her, but she would keep going until she gets her answers. And yesterday, I was listening to something on radio between 2 and 3, and she called. She actually sent a message that she wanted to call. That she wanted,
the program.
Yes, by force. Because the guy, the anchor, you know, kept saying, Madam, yes, kept saying, Madam, you know, I'll make room for you on a show that has more time where you can come and call her. She said no, that if they don't allow her to speak yesterday, she will not, she's not interested. Okay, they placed the call
time for her.
Yes, and she called. And this woman starts to go from left to right. That Martin Luther King family is not the center. And Jimmy Disu says, but center or family, they've come out to say that they have no hand in this award. What are you saying? Hey, Jimmy, you people just know how to twist this, that. Oh my God. And everybody heard that yesterday. I was so disappointed. I mean, an award is an award. Anybody can get an award. I mean, I'm excited if my president gets that kind of award, but not on such controversial, you know, not on that kind of controversial basis. You don't do your research. You give him an award that doesn't even exist. I mean, who is fooling who here? Are we even done? In these days of social media that we can Google, we can even send a message directly to the King family and ask and say, did you?
No, but you know that.
Oh my
God. Mr. Ikem, sorry to actually cut you short there. But do you know that one of the King's family, one of the kids actually granted an interview recently, I guess that was yesterday or the day before, that his family wasn't paid for any awards, that they're just trying to spoil the family name. And another, at best, damage control.
At best, how can you give an award to a president that corruption has increased under his watch? Transparency International Connect rating says corruption has increased under Muhammadu Buhari. IMF said poverty has increased under Muhammadu Buhari. So on what basis would you give him an award for fighting corruption? It doesn't make sense.
These days, I have grown not to even trust the verdicts and releases and information from some of these multilateral agencies. Okay. Whether I like it or not, IMF, they don't have our interest at heart. Maybe to some extent, Amnesty International, but Amnesty International also represents certain global interests. That said, the more things change in Nigeria, the more they remain the same. The past president, let me even start looking at from when he had left office. There were all sorts of dubious awards he was collecting from practically every corner of the world.
That's Jonathan.
Yes, that's former President Jonathan. Just to make sure he remained relevant, just to dilute some of those negative vibes coming out of his, in the aftermath of his presidency. Now, Buhari is sitting, and you think that an award from anybody from Martin Luther King family will give you certain PR milestones. Maybe not. But did somebody ever think that a Martin Luther King Center will fly from the States to Abuja with a plaque to present to the presidency? If if the Black History Month is taking place,
I
he
was
has
going to
a
go there.
time
It is not
and
even
date.
during Black History
Black
Month.
History Month is
Abike Dabiri jumped in yesterday and said Black History Month can be any day,
No,
anytime.
that's like
I'm coming.
Okay.
The Black History Month has a calendar. There are programs that precede it. There are programs at the event day. There are programs that succeed it.
Yes.
He has a calendar. By now, they are planning for the next year. He has a board. And they don't go flying all over the world with plaques in their pockets
to give
president.
To a president like corruption has increased on
that Nigerians in year 2018 are Nigerians of 1960 who are not following. Nigerians are the trendiest in the world. Technology doesn't drop in the US without coming here the next day. We follow conversations, we follow developments. So are they taking us as 1960 Nigerians when they are the 21st century that they can lie or package certain things for what it is not? And then we'll buy hook, line, sinker, and even the person who holding everything. It doesn't work that way.
Okay,
I want to say something.
Let's hear you.
I want to make a little correction here.
Quickly.
Is it correction or an observation?
Quickly.
Abike Dabiri, with all respect to her, wasn't the only investigative journalist in Nigeria.
Oh no, but
As a
I
matter
said
of fact,
growing
there are
up.
some-
I said growing up. She's the one I idolize and I follow.
paid for his life.
No,
Check
let's
this
go.
out.
Let's go back.
There are so many rare
People
people
we know.
They were timber and caliber.
It was her investigative journalism that got her into government.
Is it
Because-
investigative
and that's the
journalism?
truth. No, it was her thoroughness.
Yes.
Her
Okay, thoroughness.
Even people like
so-
Tolu Ogunlesi, who's going around Twitter talking all sorts now. It was, you see, all these people, what I've come to realize now is that once we start to see them on social media, and I'm not one of them, you know, start to make comments, start to talk, because you know, start to grow followers, start to insult the government, start to say all sorts of things. Just watch it. You know, before you know it, it happened to Abati. And then after he left the Jonathan government, he came out and started blaming the demons of Aso Rock, that once you are inside there, there's just this demon that turns your head upside down and then makes you think,
I don't think
and all of that.
But can I ask a question quickly so we can move on? Can I ask a question? Right now, I feel strongly for our dear president, you know, because this must have been very embarrassing for him because he only knows what he is told. And I guess there are people under him who should have made their research and done things following protocol, you know, to make sure it's rightly done. So I want to believe the president didn't know this was a fake award.
The truth is that the cracks are showing.
How do people in government do the wrong things
the truth
and
is
get
that
away
the cracks
with
are
it
showing.
every
I
time?
was a passionate.
How do they get away
that
with
the
it every
president
time?
does not know.
No,
The
Mr.
president
Femi,
does
wait,
not know.
Mr.
The
Femi.
president. What does the president
He
do?
can't know everything.
He
He
can't
cannot know
We
everything.
know.
Let us
He
remember
cannot.
during the election, remember the PR packaging they did for him and, you know, positioning him out there as this, you know, technology savvy human being. But there were times you saw how he held the iPad upside down and all of that. So yes, and I would say, the unfortunate thing now is that once you do not know, you do not know. The cracks are beginning to show, and they're opening really wide. This man doesn't know. Because the truth now is he's only doing what he's being told. If somebody says move here, you move there and collect an award. You don't even ask questions. If somebody says come on. Well, it's all packaging. I mean, they did that well, and they got
Would
in there.
Obama, President Obama of America?
It is unfair to compare Buhari to an Obama. It is unfair to compare a Buhari to an Obama.
Why?
The only thing is that, which is what I keep saying, even about Patience, when Patience was our first lady, I kept saying, so much has gotten you there. You now have the power, you have the money, you have the connections. Clean up yourself. Buhari should have done that. In 3 years, clean up yourself. Get to know. Get to put yourself in that position of knowledge.
Wait, are you saying we voted for a president that does not know anything?
Okay. Do you know, let's go Mr.
Ike. Let me separate this fight.
Quickly on the last point.
The president does not have to know
Everything.
Obama did not know everything.
Obama was just a lawyer who became a career politician. Obama
A lawyer first.
Obama could never have known the operations of the CIA.
Yes.
Obama could never have known the operations of NASA.
Yes.
Obama could have never have known a lot of all those things.
Yes.
But when you surround yourself, which is what leadership is all about.
Thank you.
Leadership is all about managing people and competencies. You bring all of these resources together to produce something. Buhari does not have to know even about a Martin Luther King before
he gets
somebody
an award from
does his job well by
Definitely.
identifying this thing, that this thing is a dubious award and our president didn't deserve this embarrassment. That said, I am surprised that somebody or some people have not been fired
Because of this.
because of this, because that thing is a very terrible embarrassment,
Yeah.
worse
global
than the
embarrassment.
No, what they're actually doing right now is a damage control. That's exactly what Abike is trying to do right now. She's trying to do a damage control that whatever it is, Black History Month can as well be celebrated anytime.
How many damage control
It's
are
not
they,
even about
are they
Black
going to
History
do
Month.
before
It's
the
not
end
about
of
Black
this month's
History
tenure?
Month. It's about an award that doesn't exist.
But
you call it
but
an
we still
MLK
have. But
award.
right now, about a few days ago, if you probably check the internet, we saw the video of one of the kids of Martin Luther King that actually came out and still said they are actually aware about this same particular award.
You know, the whole thing.
So it's more or less like a damage control, something that's gone bad, and everyone is just trying to
Yeah, we
patch it.
have been damage controlled
No,
all
let
the
me
time.
say this.
We had damage control when
problem
Muhammad Buhari
was
called
not-
his wife somebody that belonged to the kitchen and the other room. How many damage control are we going to get? Please, I want to remind you of something.
No, that one.
Let us go back to what Professor Mwabuzi said, the
Okay.
constitutional guru. It is not an insult to Muhammad Buhari. But this man, this Mwabuzi, Professor Mwabuzi, looked at Buhari, was it a year or 2 years ago, and said Muhammad Buhari does not have the mental capacity to govern Nigeria. And it's showing. Our lady here said the cracks
Are showing because he is not. See, Mr. Ikem has said this. You can be the dullest in a group, but you should have the ability to surround yourself with intelligent people. That is number one. Number two, like Alero has said, you can't keep doing damage control. He needs to also come out and make formal statements like, this has happened. I am firing, let people know that you are taking responsibility for
That's
this.
exactly what I said.
People need to
You
lose
don't
their
do the
jobs.
wrong thing
You
and,
can't keep
nothing
embarrassing
is
people.
done
Are you
about
expecting
to
the
lose
president
their
to
job.
do that?
You
Has he
can't,
done it
because
before?
it's not only
He needs
about
to take
President
precedence.
Muhammadu
It's not about
Buhari this time.
I don't
It's
I
about
don't need to
Nigeria
separate-
and
I don't want to
Nigerians.
separate the person
No.
from the office.
Too much.
The
Okay.
office of the president.
Our time is almost
sacred.
our time is almost gone, and wow, the response is massive, but we we cannot take feedbacks now. We have one more topic actually, which is the looters list.
Yes, so.
Released by the
Ah.
federal
I
government.
saw your name there.
Another
I
damage
saw your name
Are we going to do
there.
another
This
damage
my
control?
friend. I saw your
10
name.
seconds.
I saw your name
In 10
there.
seconds
We
each.
have to do damage control on that one
In
too.
10 seconds each, please, let's quickly comment on the looters list as released by the federal government.
That's
Quickly.
why I said
We'll
we
start
are
from
joking.
you,
We'll start from
Mr.
Mr.
Drujai.
That list is illegal. It does not conform to what Justice Shagari said that should be released. You understand? It does not conform. If you say you have recovered money from them, how much was recovered? How was it recovered? You are saying these are looters. By saying they are looters, that means they have already been judged. The court has found them guilty. They have not been found guilty by any court. So what are we saying? Government of Muhammadu Buhari, they are going to do another damage control on this, I'll show you.
All right, that's so sad.
You see, there's one word. If you watch anything foreign, there's one word that the foreigners do not joke with, and that word is called alleged, which goes back to what he said. You do not call people thieves if they haven't been tried and convicted. And that's number one. Number two, that list, I saw it. Somebody even sent me an updated list, and I laughed this morning. And I said, why are everybody on this list members of PDP and Jonathan's, the ex-government president's circle? I said, PDP and APC, are they not the same brothers? They're the same papa born them now. Immediately, some people heard that, and we saw it happen. Immediately, Buhari won. We saw them cross-carpeting. We call them cross-carpeting. Why are certain names out on that list? I don't want to name names. But there's a name that, as far as that name was not on that list, that whole list.
Mr. Ikem, quickly.
Well, we won't solve our problem in that area by pushing out a list of people we presume to have stolen. When you want to do such a job, you don't do it in the open. I remember I said it here one time. we seek for publicity capital from just about anything. Look for those who looted, try them, recover the money, send them to prison. But listing out people who are on trial or who you have not.
All right, that's about all we can take. That's about all we can take. I'm sure this is still an unfolding story.
Yeah, so they said it's just
a small list come out. We will discuss it. Thank you, Mr. Ike Mokuho. Thank you, Esosa. Thank you, Mr. Femi Durojai.